Right, welcome back to another video. As you can see, mic's up, it's plugged in, it's working this time, unlike the crappy audio in the last one, which I again apologise for, but yeah, can I just start by saying, bloody hell, it's hot. I've been recording for about 30 seconds and I'm already starting to build up a sweat. So yeah, it's that time. It has been just over a year, about, I don't know, 14 months since I've originally bought the car. Yeah, obviously since then I've made a fair few videos on it, but I thought today we'd have a bit of a look back at what I've done in the past year and a bit of a look forward as to what's going to come. Along with this, I'll give some reviews and my opinions on some things that I maybe didn't like that I now do, and some things that I did like that maybe now I don't. As it's been a year and I've got to kind of get used to them all. So yeah, I think without further ado, let's take a closer look at the car. Starting with the mods I've done since owning it. So one of the first mods that I've done in the previous year is actually put it on some H&R lowering springs. Now, if you've seen the video for that, I said that the lowering springs were 45 mils, which I believe they were. In all honesty, now I have no idea. It's definitely lower than stock. However, part of me does want to take it lower. The other part of me that says it's impractical says don't, but you know, I don't know what's going on. I think realistically what I've done is maybe got 35 mil springs, where a Scirocco R is already 20 mil lower than a standard Scirocco. I think I've got 35 mil springs and realistically only dropped it by about 15 mil, which isn't ideal. The next mod is this diffuser. You can clearly see it's just some cheap Chinese plastic, which we love on this channel. Do I have plans on upgrading it? Maybe, but I haven't found one I liked yet. If and when I find one that I like, I might consider upgrading it. But at the moment, although it's cheap Chinese plastic, it looks quite aggressive and I'm here for it, to be honest. Right, sticking with the back of the car, there's actually a few mods in plain sight here, and I'm hoping you can spot some of them. Should see 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. Holy, there's a lot of mods on the back. So the first one and the most obvious one is this big black badge. It's just a cosmetic thing. A lot of the stuff I've done is cosmetic because it's hard to do power and performance mods without spending a lot of money, which I just don't have. But yeah, the first one we've done is the black badge. There's a matching set on the front as well, which we'll see in a minute. The second mod is this wiper delete. Now, a lot of you might be going, well, why'd you delete a wiper? Isn't that impractical? Please. Race cars don't have rear wipers. Have you ever seen a rear wiper in F1? And while we're on the topic of race cars, this bad boy, held on by some 3M tape, you already know how it is. This thing is going nowhere. Just ignore how wobbly that was, yeah. In all seriousness, a friend gave me this spoiler for a really good price. It was like £15 or something, and I thought, I'll put it on as temporary, but you know what, I quite like it. So I'm not that fussed on a new spoiler now. I'm not saying I'm not gonna get one. I'm just saying I think there's other priorities we should maybe take care of, like getting some new wheels. The next mod that's on the back here might not be as obvious, but is probably one of my favorite mods, and it's actually the rear lights. These rear lights are tinted to a medium shade, and I opted for that over the dark because I was honestly worried that the dark would be almost black, and I didn't really want that with the gray on my car. I just wanted to take some of that harshness of the red out. And if you look at pictures like this, which is before and this being after, you can see that it actually does make quite a big difference. So it's a subtle one, but honestly, probably one of my favorite ones, just because it's low key. The last mod on the back actually is an invisible one. or so it would be if I didn't have a sticker on the back of my car explaining what's in here. But yes, it is the emerald struts. Ooh, magic. Honestly, they're cool, but they're a bit of a gimmick, and to close my boot, you really got to put some effort in. Although, it does help with the shopping. Cool, so moving on to the front of the car, there's a few more cosmetics, maybe a performance mod, I'll leave that to you guys. But yeah, we'll start off, we've got, again, the black badge that matches the back with the front. We've got some eyelids, which I feel give it a bit more of an aggressive look for the lights, especially considering how much I love these lights. I genuinely think they're one of the best lights on any car out there, and I've said this before. And, of course, the last thing on the front, the splitter, which definitely isn't scratched.
So, while we're on the topic of the splitter, a slight update that happened last night, and the fact that half of it is now gone. Yeah, so as you can see, this is not ideal, and the front has come off, which really isn't ideal at all.
Right, so the last mod that I've kind of done in the front of the car, I don't know why I've split up that way. Oh, that's fucking hot. Right, this is boiling hot, so bear with me a second. Oh, whew, that is boiling. Right, so as you can see, I've got a ram air intake that goes straight into my turbo, which is down back here. Sounds amazing, looks pretty cool, and yeah, it definitely does the job for a reasonable price. If anyone's looking, I recommend. That is pretty much it for the mods on the car. They might not seem that great, however, the build is not over. If anything, I'm still getting warmed up. There's stuff to come, there's wheels, there's tires, steering wheel I want doing. So yeah, just stick with me. There's a lot to come, a lot to see, a lot I want to do. And yeah, I think that's a good segue into talking about my experience with this car over the past year and maybe some things I should have done different. Off the bat, something I wish this car had, which it doesn't, is a sunroof. When I was looking at Scirocco R's, the only ones that had sunroofs were white ones, and personally, I just didn't want a white one. I really liked this I really liked the Indinium grey on this, and I knew that was the colour I was going to get, but unfortunately I just couldn't find one with a sunroof as well, which is a shame, but you sacrifice some things for other things. My treads were a bit low, you know. There's nothing better than in the summer, driving around, windows open, listening to your music. The only thing that can make that better is to have a sunroof, because then it opens up and you've got basically a spoiler in your race car. Or, I don't know if they do them because they're like dynamic sunroofs, but the ones that open the full weight are just such a vibe. This is hot on my bum, you know. The second thing, thinking about it, is I wonder if I should have gone for a DSG over a manual. I know that's contradictory, but I feel like this car is fast, but having that DSG would have made it that much quicker. As well as that, it also has a launch mode to help you kind of, I mean, I can launch this, as you've seen in the last video. It doesn't go well, and I'm sure in the DSG it's not much better, but I think having an automatic just would have been a lot more fun at times. Although, if I had an automatic, I think I'd be saying the same about having a manual. So, it's a moot point really. I don't even know why I started talking about it. Moving on. So now, my last point is kind of a two-in-one, because it's something that we need to talk about, and it's probably going to upset a few people, including myself. The car at the moment has about 17,000 miles on it. This means it's still holding its value quite high, and therefore means I'm less likely to take it beyond stage 1. The reason I'm hesitant to put more power into this is because when you take it beyond stage 1, the car then becomes a niche, and it's harder to sell and harder to get the value of the car for. I don't plan on having this car forever. I do plan on selling it, which is why I don't think it's going to happen. Look, never say never, might still, but I think it's unlikely. I don't know. It's a big commitment, and that terrifies me, to be honest. I feel like at stage 1, there's still room for me to bail and be like, cool, I'm done with this car, let's move on, next car. The second I kind of commit to anything further, I feel like I'm then in a relationship with the car and have to commit, and it has to be like this whole big thing. So I don't know. I'm scared, but we'll see. I'll get impatient and do it. So next video will be me going, I've stolen M's turbo and put it in my car. Oh dear God. What am I doing in my life? I suppose we should talk a bit about the future then, after me saying that. There's still a lot planned, so don't stress about that. I still have a lot of ideas and a lot of videos I want to make before I even think about getting rid of the car. There's a couple of collabs I'm hoping to do with some people that could be pretty fun. Sciroccos and non-Sciroccos. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Something that's definitely got to be done is fixing this brake light, because that's still just held in by some electrical tape. But yeah, it's cool. And to give you a bit of a teaser of what's to come, I'd like to take this out on a track. I would like to take it to a drag strip, maybe, Santapod, but I've heard Santapod's a long day for about not a lot of content. The other stuff that's coming in the future is kind of down to you guys. What do you want to see? Do you want to see me crash it into a tree? Don't say that. I mean, like I say, I've got ideas, but it's also down to you guys. What do you want to see me do? I mean, I know I do most of these videos for me because I enjoy making them, but it's nice to have some sort of external input. And if you have an idea or you have a mod that you think is cool, drop it in the comments. I read like all of them and respond to most. So yeah, definitely, don't think it's stupid or like you think it's obvious. I probably haven't thought of it because it's just over my head. So yeah, please do drop that comment, and you never know, it might get done. It's more likely than not, because I say I've got plans, I'm running out of ideas quick. We're gonna call it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please drop a like, subscribe, comment what you want to see, all that stuff we've just talked about. Let me know what your favorite mod is that I've done so far, what mod you want me to do next. I'm starting to ramble, so thank you very much for watching. Push the buttons down below. Links to the equipment I'm using is down there. Links to my OnlyFans is down. What? Oh, that is boiling hot. Right, and yeah, oh, that's hot, you know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cool. Bye.